Part of Verus Research's mission is to find and cultivate the best homegrown engineering talent, which they did with a man whose journey to the stars began behind bars.
A series of invisible signals ricochets in random directions, thanks to these plates. The goal is to gain a greater understanding of operations in an environment of uncertainty. And while understanding unpredictability is now part of 40-year-old Frank Salas' job, it's worlds apart from the uncertainty his life was full of just a decade ago.
Where I come from, there's a lot of people that have done time or still do time.
Born and raised in Bernalillo, Salas set off on what he calls the wrong path at an early age.
Each measurement will do that. I started selling dope in high school, and that was just kind of like the path I wanted to be on.
At the age of 20, he was arrested for selling crack cocaine to an undercover DEA agent, which resulted in a conviction and a 10-year sentence to federal prison.
There was people I knew when I went in, and it was just kind of I don't know, it's kind of like, oh, it's my turn now. You know, as stupid as that sounds, that's just kind of like the mindset.
Salas spent the next years bouncing from location to location in the federal prison system. Then, 5 years into his sentence, while incarcerated in Kentucky, he came across a book about quantum mechanics.
I wouldn't say my mind completely changed at that point, but it started to shift. I started to get a little bit more philosophical with myself, ask myself different questions about life and just kind of like things I never thought about, you know.
That book, along with friendships forged in prison, led him to think about a future outside of the walls of the penitentiary. Having served 9 of his 10-year sentence, Frank was released in 2012.
When I got out of prison, I had nothing. I literally 27 cents that was left over on my commissary account. When I got out, I had a bag of like soaps and a bag of my favorite books.
With the help of his family and friends, Frank slowly built a new life for himself. He quickly enrolled at CNM. From there, he moved on to UNM, where he graduated in 2016. After that, he was accepted to the graduate program at the University of Michigan, earning his master's degree in electrical engineering. Now, the uncertainty of his life had a different tone. Where to work, where to live, where to start his new life and raise his family. While working in Houston, Frank and his family came back to Albuquerque for a holiday visit. And while shopping at Best Buy on the city's east side, he noticed the modest signage of this building across the parking lot.
And I just saw the Verus Research logo on that building, and I was like, I wonder what that is. And I pulled up their website, and it's like, oh, shoot, they do like electromagnetics. Oh, they have a job opening for an RF engineer. And then I applied, and the ball just rolled like super fast.
Verus Research's staff is predominantly New Mexican, with nearly 70% of their employees hailing from the state. With his new job in what he calls an ego-free collaborative environment, Frank was able to relocate his growing family back home. And these days, the journey into uncertainty is confined to his research at Verus. His wife,
she's been there through it all,
and his 5-year-old daughter and 2-year-old son are at the center of a life now driven by purpose.
I get off of work and it's kid time. You know, I play cheetah cubs with my daughter, where she's like baby cheetah and I'm daddy cheetah. And then my son, he's a 2-year-old, so he just kind of crawls around meowing and stuff. And the rest of the time my daughter's dictating, telling us what to do, but it's just playtime.
Verus was recently awarded a $203 million contract through the U.S. Army. It's the largest contract in the company's history. It will aid in the development of defense capabilities, particularly with directed energy, electronic warfare, and nuclear systems. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of New Mexico Frontiers. If you'd like more information on these stories and more, just head over to krqe.com. Thanks for joining us.